What's going on, you guys? Connor O'Reilly with Team Lone Star Discs and Team OTB Discs, and it is the day after the MVP Open times OTB Discs has concluded. Shout out to James Proctor for taking it down in historic fashion from the drop zone, as well as Missy Gannon on her awesome win. This is the back nine. If you haven't checked out the front nine, which you probably already have, then go check that out. But we're here at the iconic Maple Hill. Let's see what the back nine's looking like. And since we're playing after the tournament, I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about how I played each hole throughout the event. Hole 10, otherwise known as the castle wall to some people, for the iconic wall right in front of the basket. Well uphill, this one. It's going to read 377, but it's really going to play all of 540 feet of power to park this one. Plays really long, and for me, my less stable howler is a great option here. If I get anywhere near circle one's edge or creep just inside of it, I feel pretty happy. So let's give it a rip, see what we got. Oh. Got a little greedy on that one, flipped it flat. Yeah, body's just moving a little slow this morning after the tournament, so didn't quite have the gas for this one. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. All right, time to make it happen with a little turnaround. Try to get up top. Dang, almost rung that one up, y'all. That would have been sweet. A little tap out. 3 never hurts here. I believe I played that hole 1 over par. Had one kind of silly bid from circle 2, one of the rounds where I focused a little more on my footing. That was a little bit tricky than I did on the line, and it cost me. So that's one. I'm hoping to play 1 or 2 down next season at the MVP Open. The Christmas field, par 4. You're gonna rip a big shot out into the field, position a short hyzer into the opening if you want to have nothing in your way, or throw a big flex, show off your distance, and maybe deal with some short Christmas trees in your line. I like ripping one here, taking what I get. If I can fade right in front of those last 2 pine trees or Christmas trees, I'm happy. But if I get a long turn and I'm off to the right side of them, there's also some options there. Snorlax, Warbird, hi bye. Kind of right to left headwind today. Maybe more crosswind. Yeah, center cut. Should have about 300 feet in. Straight putter, probably my choice there. One of the best parts about the Maple Hill property is there's 5 different official layouts. You mix and match those. There's literally infinite different ways to play this track. You can pick something to challenge yourself and your friends, even if you're at different skill levels. And I think that's perfect for introducing new players to the game, making it fun for everybody. And not everyone wants to play the blacks at Maple Hill. Or the diamonds, they call them. My bad. I've got 331 feet in. Shapes for a little bit of hyzer out of the hand, standing to flat. I'm gonna go with this new Glow Artemis since I threw my Sad Alpha Artemis into the water on hole 9 in practice. So if you ever find it with your scuba gear, then thanks. Glow Artemis. Gonna just play it flat through that gap. This one's a little straighter than my old Artemis. Flat through the gap, just wide. Caught one of those guardian trees. We got a long putt for 2, or for 3. Shot was feeling pretty good coming in this gap. Caught this last pine tree here, so let's knock this circle 2 down. Landed in the rock pile, so I'm not gonna have a free willy jump putt ability. Might have to go with more of a spinner. Let's see how the footing is. Be a little step through. Would not advise missing this gap. Hit it, get your birdie. Hole 12 plays back across that Christmas tree field. On the first shot, you're gonna play Maybe a big flex shot for a right-hand player. Some players might like the forehand here, but most players like the big shot, because if you can give yourself vision on this downhill approach of the basket, it makes it a lot easier than throwing it blind. I like to go big flex with my warbird. The more right I can push it, I feel like it gives me options coming into the green. Yeah, I saw it flattening out as it left my field of view and should be in a great spot there. It's a great spot to wind up. Can't quite see the basket, but I've given myself this gentle turnover backhand into the green, which is what I prefer here. If you're left, there's also a flex forehand available, but I think this turnover backhand putter for a right-hand player is the purest way to get into the green. Tour Series pinning here. Well, I didn't turn it at all, turns out, so flew straight. Short throwing opportunity. I've been loving my D2 penny putter for these type of shots recently. Oh, tried to make it for y'all. Now we got a comebacker from the ditch. And that's a very common spot to be on this hole if you run your putt from long and don't make it. Adds a little layer of difficulty to what seems like a more simple hole for a track like this. Let's see, on the weekend, how did I play this hole? 1 bogey, 1 birdie, 2 pars. Not the worst, but definitely would like to be better on a hole like this. All right, hole 13, I played decent this weekend. I think I took 3 pars, 1 birdie. Pretty happy with that on a hole like this. You really want to throw a great shot, and then you're gonna need a little bit of fortune at the end of the flight here to, whether it's a good ground play or to missing the late trees. You can kind of hit the gap skillfully with your line. The last third of this flight though, there is a little bit of randomness. I like to play my midi, nice, firm, and low. Try to land a little bit short of the basket, get the slide up. We got a strong tailwind right now. Early out of my hand there, I think it hit a tree, not really sure what happened to it. Par's fine on this hole. Let's see if we can make a miracle too. Sometimes worse is better than better on this hole. Just how it goes. And I have an open look. I've thrown better shots that had nothing back along in the basket. But you gotta take what you can get at the hill. Ooh, good pace there. Just need a more nose angle. Like I said, par's fine here. Definitely a hole that feels good to birdie. Another hole, once again, that doesn't need an introduction. Hole 14, Maple Hill. Congrats to Matty O, last year's champion, for acing this hole during round 1. Super cool with his own disc. That's also just an added layer of pretty neat stuff, you know? Pretty neat stuff. We have a new wall here brought on by Letterer Plumbing. Thanks to them for helping support a beautiful course. If you hit the wall off the tee, you go to DZ2. Anything that hits the water, doesn't touch the wall, goes to DZ1. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comments. I'm playing, once again, OTB Spur. Jam it out there, hard and flat. Let it fade late. Little shy there. Got myself a circle 2 putt. It's a hole that I played pretty conservative this year. Played it 1 down, 3 pars, 1 birdie. Not too mad at it. So one more for you guys though, with the warbird. Try to ace run it. This is maybe my more aggressive play for next season. Let's see. That might be in the basket. No, it's not, but it hit the wall. And that's why I play this one safe, y'all. I don't even mess with it. Or maybe I accidentally throw it perfect and it gets the drop and doesn't fade out the whole way. And you know what? In those times, I'll take my happy two and move on. My park job too, I mean, because I'm going to do this one. Check it. All right, 13. We were talking about this. We're playing from the tee pad that we land our drives on top of when we play hole 14. Yeah. We land on this guy, you skip a mile into the woods. Did the exact same thing. Yeah, just like that. This is where everyone lands. It's kind of sad for November not even going to play this beautiful basketball with the ball and everything, but it's all lucky to now. Yeah. Celebrity shot. Oh, that you could have been somebody, Connor. Number 2. You could have been somebody. Oh! That was close. Maybe next time, maybe next time. Maybe next time. Alright, sticking with still rolling back. There aren't many must-get birdies on a course like this, especially on the back nine. This one feels like one. Hole 15, dead straight. Not really two options here unless you want to get crazy and throw the flex forehand, but I don't really love that play. Dead straight, mid-range, putter, pick what suits your arm speed. I'm going Artemis, little hyzer flip. Guys, we might have just aced one. Oh my god, so close. I just rung that up. Oh, that Artemis flying pretty good. Once I figure it out, it's gonna be a good tool. See, that's why I always do my pump fake. Even if it's a bad putt, I'll still make it. Let's go. 16 Maple Hill, the Kevin Jones slip ace hole. That's what most of you guys are gonna know it as. Very demanding, straight shot. 475 feet, downhill aided, gonna play maybe like 425 or so. Take your favorite straight fairway driver, give it a rip. I'm going Wrangler.
Did I get it all the way through?
Yeah, faded out early, but I don't know if we're in bounds or not. We'll see. That one was a little bit too high. Width was good, angle was decent. Split out maybe about 2 feet out right here. But he got a little bit further than I expected, so not a terrible outcome for a pretty bad shot. Little out of my jumper range, so I'll just take my 3 here, or sorry, 4 with my OB. Yeah. Another bonus birdie on a course full of them. Always feels good to hit that gap to its entirety though. Oh, and I believe for the last 2 holes, I think hole 15 I played 1 under par, and then that one I actually played 2 under par, 2 birdies, 2 pars, and almost had 3 birdies, so pretty good for hole 16. I'll take it every time. Okay, we've arrived at 17. It wasn't too long ago that they moved the tee back to here, made this one quite a bit harder. You got to play a big turning shot out through this gap, have it work to the right for most of the flight, maybe get back to flat, but you don't really want it to fade because there is an out of bounds line along the road on the left here. That line also wraps along the top side of this hole and continues all the way to the basket. Usually a pretty touchy approach into a gap that slopes away to the basket and kind of doesn't really give you a sight line to the landing zone, making you feel a lot of times like you put this one close and then you still have a circle's edge putt. So it's one of those holes you got to play a few times to really know it. And I'm going with my understable or less than stable warbird here. Flat, get it to turn. Pretty good. Yeah. That's going to be about as good as you can ask for. We'll see if we have vision on the basket or not, but should be less than 240 in or so. All right, go watch Ezra and Aaron's channel if y'all want to see them throwing the reds. We're playing across each other a few times right now. while Aaron talks, I'm gonna throw my upshot. You can see the flags hanging out just like right there. Chip it up with the D2 penny putter. All right, that felt good. Let's see if I fell for the illusion of being a little short or if I actually put it close enough. This is another hole that's usually elevated, so we have the short version here. Because of that, I got to putt at the gold flag to make my birdie here. I think that first one would have went in, you know, it was barely right at the pole, but I think, what do y'all think? Would I have made that first one if the yellow flag was where the basket was at? The final hole, Maple Hill, it is a beast and it matches this track so well. Very challenging, but also very rewarding and scoreable with great stroke separation. We got this little rise off the tee, you gotta throw it up over. A lot of players are gonna take what I've deemed a skill-less flex shot with their distance driver, flex it through these thin trees on the right, take whatever they get after that. But I've challenged Steve Dodge to make this hole a little more true to playing over that bridge off the tee. And he's told me he's gonna plant some more trees on that stand on the right, so that's gonna be perfect. It'll help make that shot a little more difficult, a little more punishing if you don't hit it just right. And it'll reward that pure shot over the bridge a little more. I'm gonna stick with my tournament play, which was Wrangler. Hyzer flip out straight. Try to be just short of that OB line on the left, giving yourself the best window of opportunity coming in with the forehand into the green, which is my preferred way to come in. All right, caught the last tree to beat on that side on the right. It's gonna be a long way in, but you know we ain't laying up on the channel. All right, this one you gotta bust out your rangefinder because precision is king on 18's green. Got about 290 to the back wall. Should be a good speed or distance for my Chupacabra forehand. What a good tree. Let's go. I laid up the whole time, y'all. I don't know who's winning out of Ezra and Aaron, but let's see who throws a better drive on their final hole from the red layout. Ezra going red disc. Channeling his inner James Conrad. Oh, no! The last tree to beat. I don't want to spoil the drama for you guys, but I mean. If you can't hear what Ezra said, he said he's a small, weak little man, and we all know that's the truth. Isaac Robinson does not approve. All right, I got a little chip forehand or a little backhand to get in. Let's try chip one in. I thought the crossbar was going to ruin me for a second.
We're in rough shape here, but I did see Paul Macbeth do this, and people say that I'm buttery smooth just like he is.
Wow,
so,
you definitely say that.
Here it is. Oh no.
Smooth as frozen butter.
I mean, here it is.
Watch those guys' video. It'll probably be entertaining. Also, that's going to be it for Maple Hill. Always a blast to be here at the Maple Hill Farm. Until next time, the Northeast, you will be missed.